Intraoperative OCT is a novel technology whose clinical utility is still being explored in various ophthalmic pathologies, which require surgical management. Intraoperative OCT has the ability to provide real-time visualization of the ocular anatomy, and the same is displayed to the surgeon on head-up display as well as the eyepiece of the microscope. This video depicts the clinical utility of microscope integrated intraoperative optical coherence tomography in various vitreoretinal pathologies during surgical procedures. Although there are multiple benefits of intraoperative OCT during a surgical procedure, for the benefit of understanding the clinical utility of intraoperative OCT, we have divided these cases into 4 groups. The group 1, where intraoperative OCT acted as an alternative to a surgical adjuvant such as triamcinolone or dye or a surgical instrument. In group 2, where intraoperative OCT is used to assess surgical endpoint. In group 3, where intraoperative OCT acted as an informative tool necessitating additional surgical maneuver. In group 4, where intraoperative OCT was used as a diagnostic tool in pediatric patients during examination under anesthesia, as well as during simple buckling procedures. In diabetic tractional retinal detachment, intraoperative OCT aids in finding the safe plane to begin fibrovascular membrane dissection. Real-time visualization of the cutter in relation with the retina prevents inadvertent trauma to the underlying retina. Foveal assessment at the end of the dissection with the intraoperative OCT ascertains complete membrane removal. While tackling retinal membrane, intraoperative OCT clearly delineates the ERM as well as the cleavage site to perform dialysis surgery. At the end of the surgery, foveal scan reveals completeness of the procedure as well as intraoperative anatomical alterations seen as intraretinal corrugations. Intraoperative OCT can act as an informative tool necessitating additional surgical maneuver like removal of residual vitreous membrane, as in this combined retinal detachment case where residual membrane is identified during internal limiting membrane peeling, which requires removal with the aid of a forceps. Assessment of the residual detachment after fluid-air exchange can help in determining the adequate tamponade type. Intraoperative OCT allows to work and dissect near the retina without causing trauma to it. Live visualization of the retina by OCT prevents deroofing of the cystic spaces during membrane removal. Intraoperative OCT is an impeccable tool to assess surgical endpoint, especially while giving subretinal tissue plasminogen activator injection. For the treatment of acute subretinal hemorrhage associated with age-related macular degeneration, intraoperative OCT helps in identifying the potential site and the tissue plane for the injection, as well as the completeness of the procedure can be ascertained by visualization of the raised bleb as well as the fluid. During surgical treatment of large macular hole by free internal limiting membrane flap, non-displacement of the free ILM flap is ascertained post-fluid air exchange by intraoperative OCT, thereby preventing post-operative day 1 surprises. In a case of macular hole associated with retinal detachment, intraoperative OCT aids in assessment of macular hole size under PFCL. While the retinal graft is being swept to the hole, its anatomical orientation can be assessed in real time. Intraoperative OCT aids in atraumatic tucking of the graft margin into the macular hole. Position of the graft can be ascertained after fluid-air exchange by intraoperative OCT. In case of myopic traction maculopathy, resolution of traction component can be ascertained with the aid of intraoperative OCT. When autologous internal limiting membrane graft is used in the case of optic disc pit associated with macular detachment, intraoperative OCT aids in assessment of the optic disc pit as well as visualization of snugly fitted ILM graft after fluid air exchange. Intraoperative OCT as a diagnostic tool in pediatric patients as well as in cases of simple scleral buckling can also be used. Intraoperative OCT can be performed in pediatric cases while doing examination under anesthesia as a non-invasive tool where retina is illuminated externally, allowing the visualization of the retina and successful image acquisition by intraoperative OCT. This allows the complete assessment of the posterior pole by the intraoperative OCT. While doing simple scleral buckling for retinal detachment, same technique can be utilized to assess subtle proliferative vitreoretinopathy changes as well as quantification of subretinal fluid, immediate post-subretinal fluid drainage, which is done externally. Other indispensable utility of intraoperative OCT includes assessment of the peripheral lesion, thereby aiding in formulation of a clinical diagnosis, as well as the assessment of the macular hole anatomy in a case with marked cataract during combined cataract and vitreoretinal procedure where preoperative assessment is not possible. Intraoperative OCT has the potential to become an indispensable tool for vitreoretinal surgeons. Intraoperative OCT has also bettered the understanding of the tissue behavior during various surgical procedures and thereby improving the predictability of surgical outcome. Like any new technology, it has its limitation, which requires further refinement. The limitation includes shadowing, need for repeated tracking of the area of interest, as well as limited resolution of commercially available intraoperative OCT to delineate ILM. This is an Advanced Eye Center Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research Chandigarh presentation.
Thank you so much, Ramandeep. Any questions?
So did you have a shadow effect with the current generation of the intraop OCT? Is there like a shadow from the instruments that you get?
What we have is, I mean, this is the only model which is available. So we have shadowing with this. So it's only the green tip the Mohit showed with that case. With that there is no shadowing, but
yeah.
any instrument, other instrument will produce a shadow there. But we have to learn how to use it.
So one important thing, do you simultaneously see the Myers of the OCT and the structural OCT while you are seeing the surgical content? Like,
yes, there's a learning curve. So it's not like I have switched on the MI OCT, I can't switch it off. When I require it, when I switch it on and do my ERM peeling and on, then I ask the person to switch it off. So I am seeing at the two faces, fundus there, horizontal line there and the vertical line there.
No, so is it inside the ocular itself?
Absolutely inside the ocular.
Okay, but is it superimposed on the surgical area?
Absolutely.
Or is it on one side?
It's superimposed on the surgical area. I mean, the macula is here, it's not superimposed on the macula.
That's what I wanted
Above
to ask.
the temporal arcade, the horizontal line, vertical line is on the nasal side to the disc.
Why I wanted to ask you that, see, when you are operating, you will be focusing on the area of interest, right?
Yeah.
So simultaneously to look at that and then to look at the...
Absolutely, it's a skill, you play PlayStation. So like we see those, I see my car, what speed it is going and everything.
So I think that improvement might be needed, like in the Varion or the Callisto, you have, like they are superimposed. Whatever you are doing, you are seeing the Myers on the surgery. So I think with the improvement in technology that can be overcome. I noticed that in the pediatric case, you had an inverted OCT image. Was that an inverted image that we were seeing?
Sometimes get inverted and just it's a Z-axis problem. That's
okay.
The thing
okay. But and have you used it on the? Do you have 3D system also on this, or with the intraop OCT? Or
nowadays we're using it for 3D system also, but the compatibility is not good actually, because it's compatible for the analog microscopes.
Thank you so much. OMG, that's